Look at this absolute unit of a loser, Bong Joo-hyuk. 25 years old and already speedrunning a midlife crisis with 3 part-time jobs and 0 bank balance. He is living that rooftop apartment life where ramen is the only thing on the menu every single night.
Why is he living like a background character in a tragedy?
Debt, baby. He is working himself to the bone just to pay off interest, convinced he has no skills and a future as bright as a black hole. Just as he is about to choke on his noodles from self-pity, the system decides to show up. Joo-hyuk has finally awakened, but instead of a heroic fanfare, he just spits out his dinner like a total amateur. Most people see an awakening as a winning lottery ticket, but Joo-hyuk is a certified coward. He is already imagining 10,000 ways to die in the tower, from being monster snacks to getting turned into a human popsicle. This guy is so dedicated to being a simp for safety that he avoids construction sites and pretends to be on the phone to dodge any interaction. He is convinced his awakening is just a hallucination from being too broke and tired.
He finally summons the courage to call for his status window, and yep, it is real.
He is a level 1 player with a trait called Summon, which sounds cool until you realize he is still stuck in his tiny room.
Apparently, traits are the bread and butter of this world, ranging from swordsmanship to healing.
Joo-hyuk is wondering if he will get a cool golem, or a demonic beast to do his dirty work while he hides in the corner.
Common sense says skills only work inside the tower, making players just regular dudes in the real world. But our boy Joo-hyuk decides to test his random summon skill right there in his kitchen, feeling like a complete idiot for even trying. Surprise! The universe decides to break its own rules just for him. The skill actually triggers outside the tower, and something very human-shaped starts manifesting in his living room. Instead of a fire-breathing dragon, he gets a guy in an assassin outfit who immediately starts sniffing the air. This legendary summon is not interested in glory, he just wants a bite of Joo-hyuk's cheap ramen. Imagine summoning a high-tier warrior only for him to complain that mild udon is too spicy.
Joo-hyuk is staring at this one-bite moocher, and wondering if the system is just trolling him at this point.
He checks the stats and sees that his summons are tiered like a gacha game. This guy comes with 3 principles of absolute obedience, meaning he has to protect Joo-hyuk even if he does not want to. Then the lore drop hits. This is not just some random guy, it is John Cossack, the mad assassin from the Cruel Assassins Guild with a 99% success rate. A sudden rush of violent information starts flooding Joo-hyuk's brain. Joo-hyuk sees visions of Cossack in action, and this guy is a straight-up psycho. He had a lovely little habit of gift-wrapping the decapitated heads of his victims with red ribbons like he was delivering Christmas presents from hell. After seeing that Cossack only retired because he failed to kill the strongest swordmaster, Joo-hyuk is shaking in his boots. He decides to test the absolute obedience rule by making the legendary killer wash his dishes and wipe the table. He even forces the mad assassin to bark like a dog just to prove who is boss. It is a hilarious power trip until someone starts trying to kick the door down, bringing the real world crashing back in. It is the loan sharks coming for their pound of flesh. Joo-hyuk took out a massive loan for his dad's surgery and his brother's school, and now these thugs are charging him insane interest that he can never escape. Cossack senses the master is upset and casually offers to bring him the head of the bastard outside.
Joo-hyuk panics and orders the assassin to hide in the bathroom and stay silent, because the last thing he needs is a murder charge.
The loan shark boss is a total piece of work, suggesting Joo-hyuk sell his organs or even his younger brother to pay up. Our hero has to swallow his pride and play the coward just to survive another day. Once the thugs leave, Joo-hyuk is drained. He finds Cossack wanting to watch TV, and the terrifying assassin ends up getting emotionally invested in a dramatic soap opera while Joo-hyuk passes out from exhaustion. He wakes up the next morning to find Cossack gone since the summon limit expired. He tries to convince himself the whole night was just a fever dream and gets ready for another miserable day of work. While brushing his teeth, the news report drops a bombshell.
A local lending company called Smile Cash was turned into a slaughterhouse overnight.
3 people were found decapitated, and the signature was unmistakable. Red ribbons on the heads.
Joo-hyuk realizes that his summon did not just sit in the bathroom. He went out and did exactly what he was built for.
He did not summon a companion, he unleashed a psychopathic murderer on the city. Imagine working a dead-end convenience store shift only to see your own secret assassin making headlines for a triple homicide.
Our boy Juhyuk is watching the news in absolute horror as the Smile Cash murder case confirms his worst fears.
Those loan sharks didn't just disappear, they were gift-wrapped and decapitated with literal ribbons on their heads.
Juhyuk is internally screaming because he knows he is totally screwed.
He looks like he is about to have a heart attack right behind the counter while staring at the screen. The realization that his summon is a top-tier psycho is hitting him harder than those hospital bills he can't pay. The trauma is so real he starts hallucinating severed heads being served up on the counter.
A customer asks him to ring something up, but all Juhyuk sees is the bloody face of a loan shark staring back at him.
This is what happens when you accidentally hire a professional hitman as your personal bodyguard. It's Valentine's Day in the store, but instead of chocolate, the vibes are pure murder.
Juhyuk is losing his mind, seeing ribbons everywhere and imagining his summon asking if he is going to ring up the kill.
He lets out a massive scream that probably scared the local neighborhood kids for life.
He manages to snap back to reality and apologizes to a confused customer, but the damage is done.
He realizes he can't work like this and decides to take a day off from all his jobs. Walking through the snow, he is drowning in guilt, wondering if those deaths are actually his fault since he is the one who brought that monster into this world.
He pulls up the summoner's catalog to check the stats on his problematic fave. John Cossack is an SR rank mad assassin from the Cruel Guild. This guy has a 6-hour limit and a 3-hour cooldown, which is basically plenty of time to ruin Juhyuk's life several times over. Back at his cramped apartment, Juhyuk decides he needs to talk to this psycho. He initiates a designated summon, but the system decides to act like a delivery app and asks him for a satisfaction rating before the assassin even shows up. Talk about a weird flex from the tower system. At first, Juhyuk wants to give this man a 1-star review for the unsolicited murders. I mean, who wouldn't? But then he remembers his mother used to work in customer service, and the trauma of seeing her deal with Karens makes him too soft to be a hater. He just can't bring himself to be that heartless. He settles on a 3-star rating because he is a total wimp when it comes to giving bad reviews.
He knows how much a low rating can hurt a worker's soul, even if that worker happens to be a high-ranking assassin who enjoys collecting heads like they are Pokemon cards.
The moment the rating goes through, Cossack spawns in looking like the happiest man on earth. He is literally glowing and thanking Juhyuk for the 3 stars, promising to work even harder next time.
If only Juhyuk knew that working harder meant more blood on the floor.
Juhyuk tries to play it cool and asks if Cossack was the one who handled the debt collectors.
Without missing a beat, Cossack flashes a cheerful smile and confirms he took care of them right before being unsummoned.
He says it so casually you would think he was talking about taking out the trash.
Juhyuk is officially standing in front of a murderer and his heart is racing.
He has to remind himself to stay calm because technically the system's rules mean he is the only person on the planet who is safe from this guy's blades.
Still, having a psycho roommate is not exactly on his bucket list. Cossack explains his genius plan. He planted a tracker's mark on the thugs the moment they barged into the house. To him, anyone who threatens his summoner is a target that needs to be eliminated in advance.
It's not murder. It's just proactive customer service in his twisted mind.
We get a breakdown of the 3 principles of the summoned. Rule 1 is to protect the summoner's life above all else. Rule 2 is to obey orders. But Rule 3 is the kicker. If Rule 1 and 2 conflict, protection wins every time.
Basically, Cossack can ignore orders if he thinks killing someone keeps Juhyuk safe. Juhyuk realizes this logic is absolutely psychotic.
If he ordered Cossack to kill him, the assassin would just say no. But if someone else even looks at Juhyuk funny, Cossack interprets that as a death threat. This man is a walking red flag with a very sharp knife. Our protagonist imagines a scenario where they are walking down a crowded street. If some random punk accidentally bumps into Juhyuk and talks trash, Cossack won't see a rude stranger. He will see a threat that needs to be decapitated and decorated with a bow immediately. The mental image of more ribbon-covered heads has Juhyuk sweating. He tries to force Cossack to promise not to kill based on mere suspicion, but the assassin is being super evasive. He just whistles and says he will use his best judgment, which we all know is code for "I am going to keep killing people." Juhyuk is desperate and starts begging, while Cossack eventually drops to his knees to apologize. He promises to try and keep the murder to a minimum, but he won't give a solid guarantee. It is like trying to negotiate with a shark to stop eating fish. After the awkward confrontation, Cossack brings up the big question: is Juhyuk ready to climb the tower? Juhyuk admits he is a total coward who is terrified of dying. He is not like those brave legendary summoners, he just wants to stay alive and pay his rent. Instead of mocking him, Cossack actually praises this cowardice. He claims that a summoner's greatest virtue is being obsessed with safety. A brave summoner is a dead summoner, and if the master dies, the summons are stuck in the void. So, being a simp for survival is actually the meta play. Juhyuk is feeling a bit better until his phone buzzes. It is his dad calling with some devastating news. His family's finances have completely collapsed. His mom got fired, and his dad needs to transfer to a more expensive hospital for rehab. The normal life he wanted just got deleted by reality.
With his back against the wall, Juhyuk realizes he has no choice but to enter the tower for the money.
He tries to use the random summon skill to get someone less crazy than Cossack, hoping for a legendary healer or something. But the system hits him with a massive 28-day cooldown. Stuck with the psycho assassin, Juhyuk decides to bribe him with a 5-star rating to ensure the best service. He then goes full safety mode, putting on a construction helmet and high-vis vest like he is going to a job site instead of a magical death tower. Safety first, right? Cossack is hyped and promises to be the perfect guide. He tells Juhyuk not to worry and that he won't have to lift a single finger while they are inside. He is going to handle all the dirty work while Juhyuk just stands there looking like a confused safety inspector. The teleportation sequence begins as they enter floor 1 of Korea's Black Tower.
Juhyuk is shaking in his boots, wondering if he is about to become monster food.
But there is no turning back now. The debt is high, the hospital bills are higher, and his only hope is a smiling murderer. As the light fades and they transition into the tower, the real game begins. Juhyuk is basically the ultimate escort mission character, and Cossack is the overleveled bodyguard. Let's see if this cowardly summoner can actually survive the horrors waiting for him on the first floor. The system confirms their entry and the atmosphere shifts instantly. Juhyuk is gripping his safety gear for dear life as the reality of the Black Tower hits him. It is a world of monsters and magic, and he is just a guy with a construction helmet and a very dangerous friend.
Even with the SR assassin by his side, the fear is paralyzing.
Juhyuk is hyperventilating, but Cossack is just standing there with a smug grin, ready to tear through anything that moves. This is the start of a very toxic but efficient partnership. We see the contrast between Juhyuk's pathetic state and the massive scale of the tower. He is small, weak, and broke, but he has the cheat code of the century. The question is, will he lose his humanity before he loses his life in this literal meat grinder?
Cossack reminds him one last time to just lay low and live a long life.
It sounds sweet, but coming from a guy who gift wraps heads, it is low-key terrifying. The duo steps forward into the shadows, and the first floor of the Black Tower is about to find out why you don't mess with a coward's bodyguard. The screen flashes with the floor entry notification as they leave the safety of the apartment behind. Juhyuk's journey from a convenience store clerk to a tower climber is officially underway, and honestly, the monsters should probably be the ones who are scared.
As they vanish into the portal, Juhyuk lets out one last scream of pure terror.
He didn't choose the thug life, the thug life was summoned via a gacha system. Stay tuned, because this cowardly king and a psycho assassin are about to flip the tower upside down. Juhyuk finally steps into the Black Tower's first floor, and instead of a grand entrance, he is greeted by a desolate wasteland that looks like a total dump.
It is so bad that his stomach immediately does a backflip, making him wonder if the tower is trying to kill him with just the scenery.
Our boy is out here struggling for his life, letting out a majestic rainbow of vomit because transdimensional travel is clearly not built for mortals.
His guide just stands there watching him suffer, probably wondering why he was summoned by someone with such a weak stomach.
Once he stops dying, the system decides to throw him a bone and enhances his physical abilities to match his level. Suddenly, Juhyuk feels like he could bench press a truck, experiencing that sweet main character energy for the very first time. The first mission pops up and it is a real treat, asking him to eliminate 5 tough-skinned fat maggots. These things look like oversized, disgusting sausages, and Juhyuk is already judging the tower's lack of aesthetic taste. He quickly checks a strategy guide on his phone like a true modern gamer and finds out these maggots are basically tanky sponges. They deal 0 damage, but their skin is so thick that most players waste half an hour just trying to tickle one to death.
Juhyuk looks at his own hands, realizes he is not about that manual labor life, and decides to let his summon do the dirty work.
He calls over Cossack, who looks ready to commit a felony, while Juhyuk just sits back and watches the show. One of the maggots tries to get cute and jumps at him, but Juhyuk just casually hides behind his absolute unit of an assassin. He is not even pretending to be brave at this point, essentially using Cossack as a human shield. Cossack decides he is done playing around and unleashes a blade burst that is so overkill it is almost disrespectful. In a single blinding flash, every maggot in the vicinity is turned into green goo, ending the fight before Juhyuk can even blink. The system is absolutely stunned by this level of carry and awards Juhyuk an unprecedented S++ rank for the floor. He gets a level up and a mana stone, but the real prize is a mysterious platinum badge that looks way too expensive for a first floor reward.
Juhyuk realizes the entire floor took him exactly 5 minutes, which is basically a speedrun record that should not exist.
He is out here breaking the game's balance while wearing a construction vest, and it is honestly hilarious. The tower is so impressed that it triggers a nationwide announcement, flashing Juhyuk's achievement to every player in Korea.
While high-level pros are probably losing their minds, our boy is just doing a little happy dance because he thinks he is finally going to be rich.
All across the country, top-tier players are staring at their screens in pure confusion, wondering who this random legend is.
From gym rats to office workers, everyone is getting the same notification that some mystery rookie just dominated the first floor. Back in the safety of his apartment, Juhyuk is still processing the fact that he just made a killing in 5 minutes. He is looking at his phone like it is a winning lottery ticket, realizing that his life as a struggling day laborer might finally be over. He checks the market price for his mana stone and finds out it is worth 50,000 won, which is decent, but not life-changing yet.
He starts browsing YouTube for info on his platinum badge, only to realize that literally nobody has ever seen or heard of it before.
To celebrate not dying, he orders a massive spread of jockball, making sure to get the non-spicy version because his scary assassin is apparently a total wimp when it comes to heat. It is a weirdly wholesome dinner scene between a summoner and his stone-cold killer. Juhyuk asks why Cossack talks like he just stepped out of a Shakespeare play, and it turns out he picked up the habit from a previous summoner. He is basically a dangerous parrot, and Juhyuk decides he is not actually that scary once you feed him.
Feeling bold, Juhyuk decides to quit his soul-crushing day job to focus on climbing the tower in his spare time.
He maps out a new daily routine that involves sleeping, working at a convenience store, and then letting Cossack commit mass monster slaughter. He gives Cossack another 5-star rating, and the assassin explains that being a good boss actually pays off with better perks and upgrades.
They head straight for the second floor, ready to bully some nimble fat maggots who think they are fast enough to escape the carry.
These new maggots are zipping around like they are on caffeine, but Cossack just smirks and promises to finish the job in 3 minutes tops. Juhyuk is already planning what to have for dinner, completely ignoring the fact that he is standing in a literal monster den.
Cossack blurs into motion, turning the second floor mission into another one-sided massacre while Juhyuk cheers from the sidelines.
It is not even a fight at this point, it is just a professional cleaning service for tower pests. Another S++ rank and another platinum badge drop, proving that Juhyuk's luck is officially broken. He is collecting these rare items like they are common trading cards, realizing he can finish his tower runs before his morning shift even starts. The duo enters a rhythm, blitzing through the 3rd and 4th floors like they are on a sightseeing tour. Cossack is out here doing all the heavy lifting while Juhyuk just collects the loot and levels up without breaking a single sweat. After clearing the 5th floor and stacking 5 platinum badges, the system finally drops a massive bomb. Juhyuk receives a special perk that enhances his awakening trait, allowing him to summon 2 spirits at the same time and officially breaking the game forever. Imagine being so cracked at a game that the system literally gives up and hands you a second summon slot just for breathing. Our boy Juhyuk is out here checking his status window like it is a winning lottery ticket because S++ rewards are apparently the only thing he knows how to collect. While most players are struggling to survive a single floor, this absolute madman is planning to let his psycho assassin carry him to the top while he literally slacks off.
Juhyuk realizes his random summon is on a massive cooldown, so he decides to just ride the Cossack Express all the way to the 6th floor and beyond. Cut to the government suits who are absolutely losing their minds because some mystery player is speedrunning the Black Tower with perfect scores. Team leader John is trying to act cool, but manager Lee is literally prying into his mind because even the NPCs in this world are extra.
The Awakening Management Department is having a full-blown crisis over these S++ announcements that keep popping up like spam emails.
They are convinced this is the work of a single, god-tier talent, and honestly, if they saw Juhyuk in his hoodie, they would probably cry.
The director, who looks like he has not slept since the tower appeared, is terrified that foreign countries are going to kidnap their mystery star. He orders a total lockdown on new player registrations because apparently, player migration is the new national security threat. 2 days later, Juhyuk is treating the 8th floor like a Sunday stroll through a park while Cossack is doing dishes in the background like a lethal housewife. They enter the beginner zone, which Juhyuk claims is a routine chore, but we all know he is just hiding behind his summon. A pack of red thorn frog warriors shows up looking for a fight, but they clearly did not read the script because Cossack is a literal blender. The assassin obliterates the entire group in under 3 minutes, making these supposed monsters look like actual garden pests. Another day, another S++ clear, and Juhyuk is out here collecting platinum badges like they are participation trophies.
He is starting to get nervous about the difficulty spike after the 10th floor, but his biggest concern is actually how to thank his murder-happy bodyguard.
Juhyuk tries to give Cossack some pocket money for a night out, but the assassin is a total stage 5 clinger and refuses to leave his side. Instead of a wild night on the town, they end up ordering a honey cheese chicken dinner while Cossack wears a literal chicken hat like a complete weirdo.
While they feast, Juhyuk counts his hoard of mana stones and realizes he is sitting on a small fortune worth millions of won.
It is day 10 of the climb, and our resident part-timer is finally starting to dream about quitting his crappy jobs to become a full-time tower hermit. Juhyuk treats Cossack to a literal toast, forgetting for a second that this guy is a triple murderer with a blade fetish. Because Juhyuk is a simp for efficiency and keeps giving Cossack 5-star ratings, the system grants the assassin an extra hour of manifestation time.
Entering the 10th floor, Juhyuk feels a massive surge of power and suddenly thinks he is the main character of a high-stakes action movie.
He literally starts hallucinating that he is an untamable wild horse, which is a level of delusion we usually only see in middle schoolers.
This wild horse energy lasts for about 5 seconds before Cossack has to step in and remind him that he is still the one doing all the heavy lifting.
Juhyuk tries to act tough, but deep down, he knows that if he gets so much as a scratch, Cossack might actually reset the entire timeline. Then the actual 10th floor boss shows up, and it is a giant, nightmare-inducing mantis that makes Juhyuk regret every life choice. He immediately drops the tough guy act and starts questioning how any normal human is supposed to kill a bug that big. Juhyuk decides that fighting this thing would be demeaning to his human pride, which is a fancy way of saying he is terrified.
He pulls out the pom-poms and becomes Cossack's personal cheerleader while the assassin prepares to turn that mantis into sushi.
Cossack enters God mode, moving so fast the giant bug does not even realize it is being sliced into confetti.
The 10th floor is cleared in record time, earning Juhyuk another level up and a massive pile of mana stones that would make a dragon jealous. With 10 platinum badges in his inventory, the system decides to drop a legendary perk that allows Juhyuk to copy one skill from his summon. This is the moment he finally stops being a total liability and actually gets some combat utility, though he still looks like a lost puppy. Cossack is not playing around and aggressively insists that Juhyuk learns Shadow Step, specifically so he can run away like a coward if things go south. The assassin is basically a helicopter parent at this point, making sure his summoner has the best possible escape plan.
Juhyuk acts offended that Cossack thinks he would just run away, but then he immediately learns the skill because, let us be real, he loves his own skin. He realizes that having quick feet is the key to surviving a fight, or more importantly, avoiding one entirely.
Back in the real world, Juhyuk tries to use shadow step in his tiny room and ends up faceplanting because the tower physics do not apply to his crappy apartment. Frustrated and broke, he finally makes the nerve-wracking call to the Awakening Management Department to sell his loot.
Juhyuk is sweating bullets as he gives his address to the government, realizing this is the most courageous thing he has done in 25 years.
Meanwhile, the elite team is already on their way, hoping this new lead is not another dead end in their hunt for the S++ legend. Team leader John and manager Lee pull up to Juhyuk's neighborhood, ready to shower this new player with every benefit they can offer. Juhyuk is frantically cleaning his room and hiding his mana stones, trying to look like a normal citizen instead of a tower-climbing monster. The feds finally enter the apartment, and manager Lee Mina decides to skip the pleasantries and get uncomfortably close to Juhyuk. She stares him right in the eyes and drops the bombshell, calling him out as the one behind the impossible S++ records while our boy Juhyuk looks like he is about to short-circuit. Imagine being cornered by a beautiful agent who basically calls you out for being the most cracked player in the country. Our boy Juhyuk is currently sweating bullets because Agent Lee Mina is blunt as a brick, accusing him of being the secret S++ ranker everyone is hunting for. Instead of acting like a normal human, Juhyuk decides his best defense is to turn into a literal glitching robot. He is twitching, laughing like a psychopath, and giving off the most guilty vibes in history. Even the veteran agents are looking at him like he is a few mana stones short of a full set. Time for a quick lore dump before the drama explodes. 20 years ago, these massive black towers popped up all over the world like unwanted pimples. They were indestructible, ominous, and basically told humanity to get good or get gone. The only people allowed inside are the awakened players who treat the tower like a real-life RPG. Inside, they are gods with insane abilities and shiny loot, but outside? They are just regular citizens who probably still struggle with their taxes. But here is the catch that keeps world leaders awake at night. If a tower is not cleared fast enough, a literal doomsday clock starts ticking. If you do not hit the next floor in 6 months, the whole thing collapses and takes everything nearby with it. Just look at what happened to Mumbai 3 years ago. 1 minute it is a bustling city, the next? Deleted from the map because the players were too slow. Luckily, South Korea is currently flexing with 65 floors cleared, trailing just behind the US. Back at the apartment, the agents are still grilling Juhyuk like a cheapsteak. He tries to play it cool by showing off a pile of mana stones, but then he accidentally slips up and mentions he reached the 10th floor. Big mistake, buddy. The agents immediately freeze because the 10th floor is exactly where that legendary S++ record was set.
Juhyuk is back to his robot convulsing act, trying to pretend he is just an average Joe while his survival instincts are screaming in his head.
Now we get the breakdown of the player hierarchy. You have the general team, who are basically freelance hobos doing their own thing, and the elite team, who are government-sponsored superstars with fat salaries and personal bodyguards.
You would think Juhyuk would jump at the money, right?
Wrong. The elite team has one condition that is a total deal-breaker for a secret genius: they have to wear body cameras and film every single raid. For someone trying to hide his identity, that is a one-way ticket to fame-induced hell. Juhyuk hits them with the classic "I have no talent and I am just a scared little baby" routine. He is practically begging them to believe he is a loser so he can stay in the general team and keep his secrets safe from the public eye. The agents are genuinely unimpressed. They see a guy with zero ambition and a cowardly streak a mile wide. In their eyes, the most important quality for an elite is the will to climb, and Juhyuk looks like he would trip over his own shadow. Team leader John is not entirely convinced though. He sets a subtle trap by asking Juhyuk to enter the tower right now for a verification check. Juhyuk tries to stall, claiming he is a slow climber who takes the full 2-hour limit just to clear one floor. As Juhyuk vanishes into the tower, the agents wait outside like parents at a school play. Lee Mina is convinced he is going to fail the 11th floor because it is a psychological nightmare filled with giant, hideous centipedes that would make anyone quit. Once inside, Juhyuk summons his loyal shadow, John Cossack.
But instead of an epic battle cry, Juhyuk gives him the weirdest order ever: hunt as slowly as possible. He is literally trying to sabotage his own clear time to avoid looking like a pro.
Juhyuk is smug, thinking he has outsmarted the system.
He wants a terrible record, so the agents finally leave him alone. He is ready to spend 2 hours just chilling while Cossack takes his sweet time poking bugs. But then, disaster strikes. A giant centipede lunges at Juhyuk, and his inner coward takes the wheel.
He starts screaming and panicking like a total simp, and his survival instincts go into overdrive as he falls backward into a swarm of legs.
Seeing his master in danger, Cossack completely forgets the go slow order. He transforms into a whirlwind of death, shredding 100 giant centipedes in a matter of seconds.
It is a total bloodbath, and Juhyuk can only watch as his plan for a slow clear goes up in smoke.
The system rings out with an S++ rank announcement and hands Juhyuk a platinum badge for his stunning 5-minute clear. Outside, the agents check their phones and see the notification. The timing is so perfect it is practically a confession. Juhyuk steps out of the tower right as the agents look up, realizing his cover is blown sky high.
His eyes glow with a dark, terrifying aura as he realizes there is only one way to fix this mess.
It looks like these two witnesses are going to have to be silenced permanently.